This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, engines are warming up the cold Las Vegas evening as the Strip readies for the Formula One weekend. Baseball writers name Major League Baseball's most valuable players. Marcus Smith is coming into his own as England faces Japan in the Rugby Autumn Series. Beda head coach Yuri Escueta as he sharpens his focus on getting back to the NCAA Finals. All that and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 22nd of November. Now, here's our roundup. In Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers and Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees were chosen unanimously by more than 700 members of the Baseball Writers Association of America as Major League Baseball's most valuable players. Ohtani won his third MVP award, his first in the National League after a historic season with 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases, and despite not pitching due to elbow surgery. He is the second player to win MVP honors in both leagues after Frank Robinson almost 60 years ago. Ohtani helped lead the Dodgers to their 8th World Series title, also earning awards like the Silver Slugger and the Hank Aaron Award. Aaron Judge, winning his second MVP, led the majors with 58 home runs and 144 RBIs and guided the Yankees to their first World Series appearance since 2009. He also received the 2024 Hank Aaron Award. Both players were recognized for their outstanding seasons and contributions to their teams. Ohtani and Judge, baseball's highest-paid position players, are not expected to receive contractual bonuses for their 2024 MVP wins. Now, in contrast, Francisco Lindor, who finished second, will receive an additional $25,000 from the New York Mets. In Formula One, Valtteri Bottas of Kick Sauber has received a 5-place grid penalty for the Las Vegas Grand Prix after Sauber exceeded the limit of power unit components by using a fourth energy store this season. This breach of FIA sporting regulations means Bottas will have to work harder to achieve a top 10 finish in the race, especially as he placed only 16th in the first practice race. Red Bull's Sergio Perez, Liam Lawson, and Yuki Tsunoda, and Williams' Alex Albon have all bought a new exhaust system to the Las Vegas Strip. But the FIA determined that they are still within the permitted allocation of 8. The 5-place penalty comes after Sauber prepares for the final races with Bottas and Zhou Guanyu before Nico Hülkenberg and rookie Gabriel Bortoleto join the team. The F1 drivers had their first feel of the Las Vegas track in 2 practices today and had to contend with the cool autumn desert temperatures and the slippery, dusty track conditions. Max Verstappen had a big lockup in the earlier practice and came in only 5th, behind the Mercedes duo of Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, McLaren's Lando Norris, and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. In an odd moment, Oscar Piastri reported his McLaren car wouldn't switch off after he came back into the pits. By the second practice run, the temperature had dropped to 10 degrees Celsius, and Max Verstappen dropped out of the top 10 altogether and 2 seconds behind still leader Lewis Hamilton, who logged a faster lap time of 1 minute and 33.825 seconds. Most impressive climb was by 20-year-old Yuki Tsunoda, Visa Cash App RB team. Yuki climbed from 19 to 10 and almost 4 seconds taken off his lap time. In the NBA, the Detroit Pistons appeared set for another blowout loss against the Charlotte Hornets, but they managed a comeback to force overtime. Trailing by 12 points in the first quarter, they narrowed the gap to 63-59 at halftime. The Pistons struggled in the third quarter, but Tobias Harris scored 11 points in the fourth, helping them tie the game at 109. LaMelo Ball fouled out in overtime, and Cade Cunningham got injured. Despite Jaden Ivey's 7 points in OT, the Pistons couldn't recover a missed free throw in the final play, leading to a 123-121 loss. The Pistons' effort fell short as they lost to the Hornets for the second time this season. Meanwhile, Franz Wagner's three-pointer with 3 seconds left secured a dramatic 119-118 victory for the Orlando Magic and ended Los Angeles Lakers' unbeaten home record. The Lakers were close to an 8th straight home win with a 118-114 lead, but missed free throws by Anthony Davis allowed Wagner's winning shot. Franz Wagner scored 37 points, 11 assists, and 6 rebounds. The Magic played without 3 starters but have now won 7 of their last 8 games. The Magic improved 10-7, winning 4th in the Eastern Conference, or remaining 4th in the Eastern Conference, while the Lakers slipped to 10-5, 4th in the West. In other games today, the Toronto Raptors won back-to-back games for the first time this season by beating the Minnesota Timberwolves 110-105, while the Utah Jazz lost a 20-point lead and the game to the crippled San Antonio Spurs 126-118. Tomorrow is Emirates NBA Cup Day with 16 teams trying to improve their standings in the group stage. But remember, they only get to play each group mate once in a single round robin before the 6 group number 1 seed or number 1 teams and the 2 wild cards take a trip to Vegas and get sure Christmas treats for the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals of the in-season tournaments. In rugby, England's fans are once more banking on Phil Britt fly-half Marcus Smith as the darling of Twickenham has been a standout performer in the Autumn Series. The Harlequins coach Nick Evans, watching the games with the crowd, say that Smith appears more comfortable and confident while wearing the England jersey and suspects that this is due to his teammates better understanding his unique playing style. This familiarity was evident when Ollie Slateholm scored 2 tries against Australia by reading Smith's cues. Coach Evans highlighted that Smith's ability to execute what Test rugby requires, despite others sometimes being a step behind, is very impressive. England assistant coach Andrew Strawbridge notes that with Smith's growing understanding of his role in the team, he has improved his integration with England's attack. Much appreciated is his improvisation, evident in a creative play Smith called against South Africa. Strawbridge emphasizes that decision-making is a shared responsibility in the team, especially if England is to end their losing streak this weekend against Japan. The last time England lost 5 straight, it was under Eddie Jones, who is now coaching Japan. Now for our daily dose of sports lingo. If you're planning to watch the England versus Japan match of the Autumn Series at dawn on Monday, let's hope we don't hear this phrase for either side. Blood replacement. It is a temporary substitute player in rugby, but specifically for an injured and bleeding teammate who needs to take a break to get medical attention. It's time for our off-court buzzer now. Ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Antonio Perez Garibay, father of Red Bull driver Sergio Perez, made controversial comments about former F1 driver Ralf Schumacher, who recently revealed his same-sex relationship. It was an emotional sideways reaction to Schumacher pointing out Sergio's troubles this season. Now, these remarks sparked backlash and led to Sergio Perez disagreeing with his father's comments, but pointing out that he does not control his father's choices. Red Bull Racing's Perez emphasized the need to separate personal matters from racing and called for better conduct in the sport. Schumacher responded on Instagram, criticizing Perez Sr.'s comments and doubling down on Sergio Perez's struggles this season. Senor Perez Garibay is a former member of Mexico's Cámara de Diputados, the equivalent of our House of Representatives. Adam Silver has been NBA commissioner for over a decade now, but he has been with the league since 1992. Having grown the WNBA, the G League, and the NBA 2K League and Basketball Africa League, and negotiated 3 collective bargaining agreements with the National Basketball Players Association. It is safe to say that he knows his basketball.
Okay. Who is your GOAT? Who is your best player of all time?
Michael Jordan. Yep. And don't tell LeBron I said that.
Ang galing. Thank you very much to the amazing eruption, Eric Tai, formerly of the Philippine Volcanoes rugby team. As always, great content. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 22nd of November. When we return, the head coach of the Beda University Red Lions will share what it's like on the eve of a major battle. So watch out for that when we return here on The Scorecard. For today's episode on The Scorecard, kasama natin ngayon ang head coach ng defending champions ng NCAA and also the winningest team in the history of the league, Beda University. We have Coach Yuri Escueta. Coach Yuri, thank you so much for the time and welcome to the Billionaire News Channel.
Thanks for having me.
Coach Yuri, andito na naman tayo. Similar situation as last year. You're entering the Final Four facing a twice-to-beat disadvantage. Pero ang pinagkaiba nito, ngayong season, kayo ang defending champions. May nagbago ba in terms of your approach knowing that it's a different kind of pressure?
Well, first of all, again, I just told my players, the Beda players, that this is to be grateful for the opportunity that we are here. That's the first mindset that I wanted our players to have. And next is just like last year. We have to believe in ourselves. And the only way that we can get through this, just like what we did last year, is to believe in yourselves, believe in what we're trying to do. And hopefully, we have which is, I know would be hard, pero hopefully the results will be the same.
Coach, when I was reviewing what happened last year, parang ganito rin eh. You were struggling in the second round and then when it was time to win, doon na nag-pick up yung laro nyo. Now, this time around, Coach, you're facing a different opponent, the Benil team, which is also a very loaded and deep lineup. What's it like going up against Coach Charles Tew, and this is a team that you haven't beaten yet here in season 100?
Yes. Well, it's always a challenge playing CSB. Playing a team that is coached by Coach Charles. Again, we have to prepare. It won't be easy, but I just told our guys that the only way that we'd get through it or beat CSB once, but we need to beat them twice, is to come together and believe in ourselves. And it all boils down what we do in practice. Itong past week na to. So hopefully we are able to execute come Saturday. And to get one win muna. Just get that first win. And then we'll talk about the second game when we get there.
Coach, I forgot to congratulate you for being part of the TNT Tropan Giga PBA champion team sa Governor's Cup. And ako personally, sobra akong nag-enjoy covering and watching that series dahil sa matchup ni Coach Tim Cone at ni Coach Chot Reyes. Grabe yung ginagawa nilang adjustments, yung pinasok bigla si Jason Castro, pinasok bigla si Kelly Williams, Ronje Abarrientos, Ralph Koo came in, and even LA Tenorio in game number 3. Ikaw personally, Coach Yuri, what did you learn watching those two coaches and good friends at that be in a chess match and really try to outwit each other with regards to the coaching?
Well, a lot, of course. I'm very grateful with, of course, the MVP group for giving me that opportunity to be in that situation. Of course, learning from both coaches like Coach Chot and Coach Tim, kahit nakalaban mo, of course, you try to learn also from the adjustments that they do. Of course, I try to bring it also in our team if it's applicable. But more than the basketball adjustments, it's Coach Chot is very good at this. It's how he motivates, how he builds relationships with his players, and he builds that trust among everyone, which is a thing to watch for me. It's something that hopefully I can imitate and bring also to the team that I coach. So yung mga ganung bagay, mahirap matutunan kasi of course me as a basketball coach. I always think about the X and O's, basketball adjustments. Si Coach Chot, hindi lang, of course, he's a genius when it comes to his basketball IQ, his knowledge. But there's this other side of him that hopefully I get to learn also and be able to apply is yun nga, yung how he builds trust, genuine relationships with his team, with his players. Ibang klase.
Speaking of coaches, balik tayo sa simula. The first time I saw you coach was you were playing for the San Beda Red Cubs and I was playing for De La Salle Zobel. We played against you guys and I remember naiihi ako every time I see San Beda kasi ang lalaki niyo. I remember your lineup, sina Ford Araw, Agbayani, Conde Villamar, JV Casio. You were coached by the late great, the legendary coach Ato Badolato. What does it mean for you to have played for him as a Red Cub and now coaching San Beda and winning a championship?
A lot, of course. The experience that he brings is very valuable for us, especially the way he handles and teaches our big men. As a point guard, of course, I can teach them, but coming from a guy like Coach Norman, iba yung listening, tsaka yung yung how the big men sees it. Talagang maniniwala ka talaga. And with this experience, coaching, yun nga, winning 5 championships with Ateneo, being a successful coach in the PBA, ibang experience and yung value na dala niya sa team namin. So every time he talks, I always listen and try to learn everything.
Speaking of coaches, I want to take you back to the beginning because the first time I saw you coach was we were actually playing against you. I was playing for La Salle Zobel. You, of course, playing for the San Beda Red Cubs for the late great, the legendary coach Ato Badolato. Naalala ko, coach, naiihi pa ako nung nakikita ko yung lineup nyo kasi sobrang laki. And I still remember your lineup, sina Ford Araw, JV Casio, Agbayani, Conde Villamar. That was your starting five.
Yes,
Now that you're coaching San Beda, where it all began for you, dito ka unang nakilala. What does it mean for you to represent San Beda and deliver a championship and try to continue delivering more championship for the school where it all started para sa'yo?
Well, of course, it means a lot to me. Being able to represent the school that helped me pave the way for my basketball career, college. It gave me the opportunity to go to a college, to play for college. It means a lot for me to be able to coach yung San Beda, a way for me to give back to the school. And then of course, simply it's for my love for the university also. Right after Coach Ato passed, just a couple of years when he was still alive, he asked me to coach the high school team.
Sa high school pa?
Sa high school team.
Okay.
And I told him I wasn't ready yet. So at the same time, medyo nagtampo si Ato sa akin nun. Medyo nahiya ako during that time, but I knew I wasn't ready yet. So when he passed, and the opportunity came parang 2 months after, 3 months after. Parang sabi ko, parang I was in the same situation I was in when he asked me.
Yeah.
So it's parang it's a sign also for me to, which I couldn't say no to.
Coach, I don't know in high school if it was a tradition na every year merong tinatawag na King Lion. That player that represents San Beda and that player that can lead the team to the championship. Last year, it was Jacob Cortez. This year, meron bang King Lion ng San Beda? And what do you think about that idea of King Lion?
Actually, when I came here, everyone was talking about who the King Lion is. It's something I told even during my first year, that everyone should be the King Lion. So if you are given the chance to shine during a game, diba? And ikaw yung you are called upon to do it, you have to be ready. So hindi yung basketball is a team sport, as you all know. So it's hard to rely on one guy. Kailangan lahat. So even if they were saying Jacob was the King Lion last year, we had guys stepping up like Yuki in the finals.
Yes.
James Paising in the finals. We had leaders in Puntapay and Alfaro that really stepped up during the run late in the second round when we couldn't lose a game. It's not that I don't believe in the King Lion saying, but I think everyone should step up and be the King Lion.
Coach, for my last question, where do you find the most fulfillment? And is there a certain player that you had that is successful now that you can say, wow, maybe I was of help to this person?
I couldn't say naman na it was all me. But of course, winning a championship is very, I was very thankful. I think I was able to help the players, the school, dun sa success na yun. But yung pinaka-fulfilling sa akin was seeing our players be able to understand how basketball should be played. We had guys who graduated from school while playing for Beda. At the same time that they graduated, they were drafted in the PBA. And these guys aren't King Lions. These guys aren't guys that you would say that I think these guys would go high in the draft. I think they were second round players, but they all got contracts in the PBA. And at the same time, they got their diplomas. So that's something that's very fulfilling for me. Of course, building character for them is also very important for me also. So and you can see these guys are very thankful that they were part of our program. They were part of our university. So siguro yung pinaka-fulfilling na nangyari sa akin past year. And also this year, we have 3-4 guys graduating from the university this year.
Wow. And with that, we end a very inspiring and insightful conversation with the head coach of Beda University, the Red Lions, Coach Yuri Escueta. Truly a story that is very insightful as we learned that it's not just about basketball, but also helping mold these student athletes to become individuals who have the tools to succeed in the real world. Coach Yuri, thank you so
Anton.
much
Thank you for
the
having
time
me.
and all the best this season and in the next.
Yes, thank you.
Coach Yuri Escueta here on the Scorecard. The Scorecard would like to take this opportunity to apologize to all the sports fans, especially the Bedans who anticipated this interview with their head coach, Yuri Escueta. But we'd like to remind everybody and let everybody know that we will upload on the Billionaire News Channel YouTube channel the full and uninterrupted interview with Coach Yuri Escueta. And of course, good luck to all the Beda fans and the Beda community as they play the Benil Blazers in their quest to defend their championship tomorrow in NCAA Season 100. When the Scorecard returns, it's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. We'll break down the upcoming matchups to deliver key insights that might just give you the edge that you need to stay ahead of the game. Now get ready for this exciting pair of matchups this Saturday. We've got the high-flying Boston Celtics ranked second in the Eastern Conference taking on the struggling Washington Wizards who are desperate to end their 9-game losing streak. The Celtics are riding high after a statement win against Cleveland that snapped the Cavaliers' 15-game unbeaten run. Boston has been dominant, boasting a 12-2 record against Eastern Conference foes and a league-leading 19.1 three-pointers made per game. Meanwhile, the Wizards find themselves in a slump, losing 9 straight games and 3 consecutive matchups at home. Washington has struggled defensively, allowing opponents to average 124.5 points per game over their last 10 contests. Derek White has stepped up in Kristaps Porzingis' absence, averaging 18.9 points and 4.6 rebounds per game. With Tatum and Brown also in form, the Celtics look unstoppable. While Bilal Coulibaly continues to be a bright spot, posting 14.8 points and 5.8 rebounds per game. The Celtics enter this game as heavy favorites at -15, with an under over-under set at 236.5, indicating a high-scoring affair. Tatum will look to exploit Washington's defensive weaknesses, while Coulibaly will need to have a breakout game to keep the Wizards competitive. With the Celtics firing on all cylinders and the Wizards searching for answers, this game promises high drama. Will Boston continue to dominate, or can Washington pull off a major upset? Next up, at 8:30 a.m. Philippine time, catch the Golden State Warriors as they take on the New Orleans Pelicans live at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. The Warriors come in hot with an 11-3 record, leading the Western Conference. Now fresh off a dominant 120-97 win over Atlanta, Andrew Wiggins and Stephen Curry look to keep the momentum going. Curry is averaging 23 points per game. On the other hand, the Pelicans have been struggling, sitting at 4-12 and losing their last 3. Brandon Ingram remains their top scorer with 23.2 points per game, but the team is plagued with injuries, including Zion Williamson, CJ McCollum, and Trey Murphy III. Golden State enters this game as strong favorites at -8. The over is set at 222.5, reflecting a game that could see the Warriors dominate from beyond the arc, where they average an impressive 16.1 made three-pointers per game. The Pelicans, meanwhile, average just 10.9. Curry will look to lead the Warriors' fast-paced offense, averaging 17.9 fast break points per game. Ingram must shoulder the burden to keep the Pelicans competitive. However, both players are on a day-to-day status for tomorrow's game. With Golden State aiming to maintain their spot at the top of the West and the New Orleans Pelicans desperate to end their losing skid, this game promises to deliver fireworks. Can the Pelicans rise above adversity, or will the Warriors prove too strong to handle? That's the question. Next up at 11 a.m. Philippine time, live from Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado, the Dallas Mavericks face the Denver Nuggets. The Mavericks, currently 8-7 and 11th in the Western Conference, entered this game on a 3-game winning streak. Dallas looks poised to bank on their momentum despite missing Luka Doncic and Dante Exum, who is nursing a wrist injury. Kyrie Irving is expected to pull the Mavericks through in this game. Meanwhile, the Nuggets are at 8-5, 5th in the West. They have won 7 of their last 10 games. In their most recent outing, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. delivered big in a 122-110 win over the Grizzlies. However, Denver faces a big question mark with Nikola Jokic listed as day-to-day. Aaron Gordon remains out, as does Darren Holmes II due to his Achilles injury. Looking at the numbers, Dallas ranks 6th in the Western Conference for fast break points, averaging 17.2 per game. Denver, on the other hand, excels on the glass. They're 5th in the league in rebounding, with Nikola Jokic, if available, leading the way at 13.7 boards per game. The Nuggets are favored by -3.5 points, owing to their home court advantage and strong rebounding numbers. The Mavericks are underdogs at +3.5, and the over-under is set at 228.5, reflecting high-scoring potential from two teams with efficient offenses. Can the Mavericks extend their winning streak, or will the Nuggets protect their home floor? One thing's for sure, expect an electric clash in Denver. So don't miss out on the action tomorrow so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Now, before we go, think on this. From the International Olympic Committee Sportsman of the Century, Carl Lewis, he says, every single day of your life, you do about 100 things you have no interest in doing to get through the day. And it starts with getting up. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again next week on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here on the Billionaire News Channel. My name is Anton Roxas. Happy Friday, happy weekend, everybody. Good night.